Hey everybody, what's going on? It is Sunday evening, and we are here for some Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition in the world of Caelifus. Um, Here we go. Right now we're going to do some announcements. We're going to kind of talk about what's going on in our worlds here, Rem Alternus, and if the players have anything going on with them. So I'm going to start. I'm Danny, of course, GM, and we have a big thing going on Tuesday, which is the I always want to say we're kicking off our Kickstarter, but that sounds dumb. I'm a writer.
Too late.
Like
So
a lot of kids.
yeah, we're gonna have our Kickstarter is gonna go live on that day, the campaign, and we're gonna go for a month, and it's for the comic book that I'm writing. It's issue 1, 28 pages. It's I like it so far. People like it, so check it out. And instead of normally we do Shadowrun Thursday evening, but instead Sarah, who is not here today because she is busy getting ready for the Kickstarter, says that I have to be on all day long from like 7 in the morning until late at night. So we'll be there all day long, talking about stuff, going over, where it came from, do this, do that, whatever fun things we've got planned out for the day. So just stop in sometime, check it out. You don't have to stay for the whole thing because that's all day. I don't want to stay for the whole thing, but I do want to stay for the whole thing because I want to get this going. Anybody else in the cast got anything that is going on with them? Looks like John does.
Hello. First, I want to say you missed an opportunity to say kicking it for your Kickstarter, kicking it on the live stream.
Hey.
The thing that I have to announce is that in my real life, when I'm not playing Panabon, the genderqueer gnome going around stabbing people, I'm a playwright. And where I live, we have something called the Fertile Ground Festival of New Plays. And one of my short works premiered today at Fertile Ground as part of a mini play festival within the play. And those are going to be up on YouTube until February 15th. And I think if you search for Fertile Ground, it should be easy to find, both on Facebook and on the YouTube. But yeah, so in the real world where I do playwriting, that's a thing now, that there's stuff of mine that you can watch online. So yes, hello everyone.
Awesome. Anyone else got anything going on?
Super
Are you
excited
still
for
on?
Tuesday.
We're excited. I'm excited for Tuesday. I'm super anxious and nervous. But Randy, you still have Wednesday, right?
Yeah, I just didn't want to spam talk about it, but this will be. So I'm doing this really cool show called All Games No Masters over on the Saving Throw Show channel. It's brand new. We play some different GM-less games. So if you're having trouble getting your a dedicated GM, you can play one of these games with your friends, and it's super cool, especially in these times. We're having the second episode of The Quiet Year on this coming Wednesday. But after that, there will also be other games. So if that's not quite your flow, then you can try some other stuff. But yeah, if you want more information about that, I will give the link out at the end. I don't have it right in front of me, but talk to you guys.
All right. Yeah. So last week they started it's the Quiet Year, right? So basically it's a weird game where you decide you're something in a weird situation, and you got to like survive the year before like something comes. And so they are demons that have been punished or something to be forced into human shells, and so they're like mad about that because they don't have their powers or anything.
They're banished to Montana.
And they're in Montana, and all they have is cows, which they're not sure if they like cows or not.
Are the cows demonic as well, or are they just regular?
No, just cows.
Yeah,
So hey, it's just pretty wacky, and they kind of just freeform and just make it up as they go, and everybody just rolls with it, and it's
like improv Minecraft.
exactly.
Or like
like good explanation.
Yeah, so that was a good time. So be sure to check that out. And if that's all we've got for announcements, then it's time for us to get into the game. And we left off, we had a fight in the cemetery in the open graveyard. We then decided that we wanted to get out of town, and so we hitched up with the caravan. They just got a good deal. We'll see. And then we decided they probably needed to get some gear and equipment. So it's earlier in the morning on day 2, and some of them are very tired because they didn't go to bed the night before. And with that, we're going to get started because it's time. Hey, all right, we are here back and ready to go. So, as you're leaving the caravan ward in the northwest part of Merkudashta, there is Peruinya knows that there is a closer market, the Northwest Market, that is kind of more well-to-do, has a lot more stuff going on, and that's pretty close. But sometimes they don't have some of the more basic items that you might get closer to the docks, and so it's I mean, it's on the way, even if you wanted to go to the docks, so you could stop there. They also have a theater that is where they do a lot of their sort of stage shows and stuff. But usually that's more towards the evenings, and it's still pretty early.
Hey guys, why don't we stop at the docks and see if we can get some of the camels and, other supplies we want to get.
I think that sounds like a good plan.
If they don't have it, we could always go to the Northwest Market, but it tends to be a little bit more expensive, and they don't have everything anyway.
Fear, with the agreement that I made, I may need a little bit more than a camel. So I'm going to seek out the Physicians Guild locally and ask them for some aid.
Yeah, Aegis, we should probably talk about that deal you struck.
Yeah. That's a great point. Everybody, I'll let Aegis tell you, but he made a little bet to get us some more money, which is, something I'm glad about. But what did you happen to promise to the nice lady who's in charge of the caravan?
We will receive 5 silver a day, provided that I keep the caravan alive. Simple.
The whole caravan?
Yeah,
Didn't she say she had like 32 bodyguards hired?
Yes. I don't see a problem.
Oh God. Gods, Malford, help us all.
Just to let y'all know, if even one of those people happens not to quite make it, that's nothing for none of us. Aegis,
That will never happen.
could you?
Not even 1 silver a day, as I had arranged with her?
The Ing
I tried to
family,
stop him.
the Ing family has been running Hulsenso in Chaituating for decades, hundreds and hundreds of years, a millennia. And
You haven't been doing it for hundreds and hundreds of years.
but my teaching is hundreds of years old.
Okay, I'm getting a headache. I might be tired from last night or the situation, but all right, cool. Rosalia, why don't you head the train? You know where the docks is.
All right. It takes an hour or so to kind of move through that part of the city. There's not a whole lot going on in the morning in this ward. Most of the business that people have is pretty much constrained to whatever their daily dealings are, and so a lot of folks are going to be more close to the palace or over by the docks. So moving over past all of that, some of the nicer houses, the manors and villas, you eventually do get to the North Dockside Market, and it's a lot busier here than it was in the time between there and now. So, what are you looking for?
I want some alcohol.
Oh, you are hungover as hell. Don't get more alcohol. I look at him and as I'm holding my head.
Well, they say it's the best way to get rid of it.
All right, well then I'll follow you.
So that's what I want.
So, are you looking for someone that's just serving, or are you looking for getting some for the road?
I want it now.
For the road. I'm getting one now, or if possible, a couple bottles, one for now.
Okay. So you don't really see anybody that's offering more than sort of a bar. There's a few food stands here and about. Some of them look like they might be selling alcohol, just kind of like ale or something like that. But you're not really seeing someone who's selling bottles maybe or something more. But maybe somebody knows.
Yeah, I go over to one of those stalls and I'm rubbing my head. I am tired. And I just say, I need something that's stronger than what I had last night.
The proprietor looks at you, nods. I know what you need. 1 second. And he kind of turns. He pulls a bottle from under the... So you come up, it's a table, and then there's a cloth on the front. So under the table, he's got all his various things, and he kind of pulls out this bottle, this brown bottle. It looks like the outside is just caked with dust. He sets that to the side. He turns, he grabs a couple of smaller bottles that are clear from the other side, brings them all together, and then just kind of puts it all into a single cup and then pours. And as it pours from the brown jug, it's thick. You could see that it's thick going into the cup. And just at the end, there's this mysterious kind of plop, maybe something solid kind of came out of the bottle and went into it. And he just kind of looks at that and he slides it forward and says, This is gonna want to help.
All right, then I slide a silver piece over to the man. I look at Peruinya and I go, I'll tell you how it is on the other side. Take a drink of it. And what happens?
As you drink, he's he goes, drink it all, like that. It points oh shit, drink it all, don't sip it. Do you sip it, or are you gonna try and
I'm gonna take it all down in one shot at least, or try to.
All right. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Nice.
This is why I was waiting for him to drink it first.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I apparently like my liquor.
So it tastes like hot garbage. Take garbage and cook it, and that's what it tastes like. And then right at the end, whatever that was that plopped in there, yeah, that was a thing, and that you feel that kind of go over and back, and you just,
Oh,
that feeling, oh, but
coming back.
but you keep it all down.
Yeah.
Well, I look at the guy and say, "Thanks. It definitely did something." And I turn to Peruinya. I just say, "Get out while you can."
No, you wait. 10 minutes, you're gonna bring her back. Guarantee.
I take the glass that he put down and I pull like a little swab out of my pocket and I just swab the glass and then put it in a vial and put it into my bag.
I mean, if the worst thing that happens that it tastes like hot garbage, I'm willing to give it a shot if it makes me feel better. Let's see if I can make that Constitution saving throw, though.
It's all out. I'll make it.
All right, I also pass him a silver.
All right, so he takes a silver coin from you, and he looks at the coin. Looks at the coin that Lachlan gave him. And then he puts them both away. Peruinya has been in Mercadashta for a while, so her coinage is shiny. But
Yeah, mine is not.
silver, he'll figure it out. So same process. He makes the same drink. As he's pouring the thicker liquid, you don't see anything solid come into yours.
Thank God.
So hopefully
Or
that's
maybe
not the
it
trick.
doesn't work. Yeah.
I don't know. But then he proffers you the mug.
All right. So I take it. I smell it. Wish that I had not. Hold my nose. Well, cover my nostrils. Can't really hold a dragon snout. And I take it down with a shudder that's quite unbecoming of a large dragonborn like myself. I cough a little.
Let's get that Constitution saving throw.
Yep.
Okay, this is going to be a good time, everybody.
Oh boy, will it though?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, shake it off like
yeah.
I don't know what you were talking about, Lachlan. I feel fine.
Yeah, just throws it all back, slams the mug down. Almost does this, I'll take another, because that's just kind of how you do, but then stops.
I did smell it first, so.
That's not really what I want. But yeah, just, something about the dragon jaws and stuff. You just kind of, you don't even you're not even drinking it. You're just kind of like open
Literally
your mouth and
throwing it.
throw it in, throw it back. People don't think about that. Dragonborn, like eating, like cheeks, stuff. So anyway. Yeah, and so the fellow looks at the group. Are you visiting through Mercadashta? Just seeing the sights?
Just stopping on our way through some work. Just passing through. We need to get some camels, actually, if you know if they're selling any down here.
Down here, no. This too close to the docks. They don't bring the camels down. You could try South Market, but cheaper beasts for a reason. And then West Market, you don't want those. And they're pricey. But usually the caravan ward will have some beasts, and all the equipment to prepare them for a journey.
We're hoping to buy animals of our own. I'll have to look there, see if they had it by the caravan staging area. I didn't see any.
You'll need to find the stable.
Got it. And Aegis, I know you were looking for some ingredients. Do you want to ask this fine gentleman if he knows where to find them?
I just want to know where the Physicians Guild is, sir.
The Physicians Guild.
Where do your doctors stay in this town?
like healers and yes. There is no such guild, but there is a hospital. It's near the palace. And he just kind of like points, and you could see over the rooftops where the palace just like rises above.
That's where I will be going. I say to the group.
Okay, we can meet you back at the Desert Bloom tonight, I guess. If you're out too late.
Is there anything else I can help you find?
I look at Rosalia and I want to ask her if there's anything she would like to bring, like to prepare for our journey.
I don't need much. I don't wear shoes. I don't really eat the food that you guys eat or drink what you guys drink. So I'll be fine. Except I would like a horse if there is one in this desert. Other than that, can't think of anything.
The old desert horse.
A black one.
A black one. Nice.
She is immortal. She does not need food, and she thinks that she is an elf.
She is an elf.
I also don't need wisecrackers. So if anyone wants to be a wisecracker in this group, they can walk behind the caravan.
I don't even know what that means.
Snap.
So now I've got to figure out what Elven is for wives cracker, because that is now a thing.
It is a word that we've used for hundreds of years because there's always one in the group.
Yes. And it's not
When you
going
say
to
that,
be.
I look at Panabon.
It's not going to be literally wisecracker too. I mean, like find some way to say it where it's like just really off, you know. All right. So
Also, Panabon is not currently with you, so there's that.
where is Panabon, by the way?
Panabon is back at the Desert Bloom. They prefer to nap in the morning because I just haven't been sleeping well since my first interaction with the creatures, like the ones in the graveyard. And so I was keeping an eye on Shay, making sure that she was somewhere safe. And then I'm currently recouping some of the rest, and so I'm likely to probably get up about noon, I would say.
Okay. Well, it is not quite noon, so you are resting still.
Yes.
It does start to get really warm. It's kind of like when you're camping in the summer, and eventually there comes a point where the sun's hitting your tent, and it doesn't matter how tired you are. That is a kind of thing that happens here. But you're right by the sea, so you'll get pretty close to noon, I think. So back to the others. Is Aegis then going directly to find the hospital, or is Aegis going to finish shopping with everybody and then go to the hospital?
Go to the hospital. I'll turn to Lox. I'll hand Lox a bit of food that I had in my bag. You should eat after that drink. I'll see you all later. And I take off towards the hospital.
Lox puts it in his jacket.
Yes. All right. So while that's happening, the rest of you.
Sounds like we gotta go back to the stables, guys. See if we can find you a horse, Rosalia.
Well,
I like that.
if I may, travelers, probably get all the things you wish figured out first, and then go to the camels. Yes, because the caravan ward is not going to sell supplies. If you're crossing the desert, you will need much.
Shopkeeper's got a point. I think, having been on a couple of rides, long caravans, we'll definitely need water and food for a few days. On top of the animals. Anything else y'all can think of?
I believe they said it would be 2 weeks for a journey, so I think we'll need quite a bit. They didn't say whether or not they would provide us any supplies, but I think it's always good to bring your own. So maybe we stop and get some beef jerky and the like.
I like that. And
What do Dragonborn eat?
Well, meat mostly. Sometimes porridge, stew, beef stew, lamb stew, a lot of stew.
Do they eat other dragons?
Oh, we haven't had dragons as such in this world that anyone's seen in quite some time, though of course we're descended from them. So I think it would be kind of cannibalistic to eat a dragon. So no, I don't think so.
So meat and porridge.
And beet soup.
This is
No
all
wonder you're
canon.
purple. I knew it.
That's gotta be what it is.
Yep, this is all canon. What do Dragonborn eat? Yes.
Beat stuff.
Well, the vendor is sitting there just kind of watching back and forth. Mostly what's going on here at his stand is he's got various jugs set up. So it doesn't look like he's going to be able to help you with some of the goods that you need, but he's seems willing to help. And Lox and Peruinya are kind of feeling better about their headache.
slide the guy another silver because I wasn't quite quite sold on the taste, but it definitely helped. So 2 silver.
Oh, yes. Medicine is never delicious.
What do you call that medicine?
Morning drink. I never thought of it. We just make it with the herbs
Nope,
and the...
don't tell us what's in it. I'd rather not know.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, kind sir, where would you suggest, if you were going on a 2-week-long caravan, where would you suggest to start for us?
Well, I would suggest probably you'll find some dry goods in and around the market, but mostly they're bringing in things mercantile and the like. A lot of times coming to this market is good for getting large quantities of stuff to then take across. So if you're looking for goods to sell, that's here. But if you are looking for supplies, there is the general goods store in the Northwest Market. There is there's additional supplies. There's an armory near the barracks, and I can't really think of what else you might need. Is there anything in particular you're hoping to find?
To change my money. I noticed the look you gave it when I handed it to you. So,
it was yes. So most foreigners don't. Well, the paper money that we take that here, but for coinage, a lot of people go to the money changers. And they will happily exchange coin from any land into coin here, or for the currency, or a writ, and then that is good at any money changer across Vaishan.
sounds complicated.
Okay, so why don't we then do this? Why don't we go to the marketplace and go to this general store he recommended and pick up some of the dry goods that we need there, and water, and then we can head to the money changers and then next the stables.
I like that. Anyone else think that's a good idea?
I think it's a good idea. we should check on Panabon and Shaylin just to see how they're doing.
Agreed.
Agreed.
All right. So with that, you head off first to the general store, you said?
Yes.
So you trudge back through the city. As it's getting closer to noon, the streets are even more vacant. If you don't have stuff that you're out to do, a lot of people try to keep away from just being out in the sun and out in the streets. It's not as bad as like in the desert. The breeze does come off the sea to the east, and that's a bit cooling, but it is still very warm, very humid here. You eventually get to the Northwest Market, and just kind of at the southern entrance of it, there is a large building that has a very wide open front, and it looks like they have. It looks like it's just curtains that are pulled up, and that's what they would close in the front. And inside is just shelves stacked with various items.
I'd wager a guess that that's our general store.
I think we probably should just get enough for everyone, including those 3 that are not with us, and they could always pay us back later. I'll make sure Panabon's good for it. You know how they are.
Should we get mini clothes for Panabon?
I mean, they might like it.
Yeah.
Something blue, because Panabon has blue eyebrows and blue lips.
They do seem to like the color blue, yes. Oh, maybe I'll pick up some quills for Shay, too.
I don't think I can come up with some good ideas for Panabon.
Well, you think about Aegis.
Yep, I can do that.
Yes, have fun with that.
So we start shopping, and I'll pick up extra things for Shay. Rosalie, it sounds like she's got Panabon, and Lachlan's got Aegis.
All right. So with that in mind, you're entering into the store, and there is a middle-aged woman, maybe nearing or into her 50s, that's kind of in the back behind a counter, just watching the various comings and goings of people as they either pass the front of the store or enter or leave. And as you guys walk in, the group of you, she kind of stands up a little straighter, and just kind of waits to see if anyone approaches or if you guys need any help. But she definitely sees everybody there and is ready to assist, it looks like.
I guess I'll talk to the lady. I go over to the woman of the establishment, and I go, excuse me, I'm trying to buy some goods. We're getting ready to ride out with a caravan. Let her know that I'm looking for water and food for me and my friends, who I gesture to.
Okay. Do you have Ishani coin, or do you perhaps carry with you the mook? So the currency, all the currency is from Denam.
Yep.
They set up a currency system, and it has kind of proliferated around, so everyone accepts it because it's lighter than coins, but it can get bulkier because it's paper. So there's the mook, which is gold. It's basically one mook is a gold. It's the way they've got it set up and stylized. There's like a little bit of gold threading in it. Then there's the Peking, which is silver, and the Nyack, which is copper. So if in everyone's character sheet in your inventory, you've actually got those in a wallet so you can see how much paper money you have.
Yep.
So you kind of have to imagine that as being, so for example, Lachlan has 3 Mook, 12 Peking, and 77 Nyack, and that is about 80 bills. So, your wallet gets pretty fat, which is where the money changers come in.
So I
That's
do
pretty
have
funny.
Danong money from my adventures in Danong, thankfully. So I let her know that I have some mook, and yeah, I want to buy that. I also want to ask if they have vials and like beakers and things for a friend.
Yeah, containers. So we have containers here. She kind of points to a couple of rows of shelves that have just various glass bottles and other containers. Some have stoppers, some don't.
I definitely want ones that you can put various random liquids in, because let me tell you, my friend just is a collector of
Very random.
random things.
Well, please have a look if you like. And what else?
Like dried meat, water, like that in like case that we can carry.
You're traveling across the desert.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have camels?
We're also doing that right now.
Ah, okay. Well, you'll need a camel for each of you that is traveling. How long is your journey?
About 2 weeks, I believe, is what the woman said.
2 weeks. Where are you going?
Peluti.
Ah, yes, very good. So I recommend then 5 days of water. 6 if you would like to pad that. And then there will be a stops at Oasis that you can refill your water bags, yes? And then rations for each day. Be mindful that your camel carries everything, or you carry it. Would you like me to get that together? How many are going?
6.
6, okay. Okay. Give me a moment, and I will gather these things together for you. If maybe come back in an hour, and it will all. I'll have it all set for you, and then also let you know what the price is.
Sounds like a plan. Thank
And
you
is the
for your-
stable nearby here?
The stable. So you see the theater. Go through past the theater, and you're going to just straight through as you can. Eventually, you're going to get to the caravan ward, the northern part of it. There's the stables are to the north, kind of on the northern edge of the caravan ward, out of the but close enough for those to get their beasts.
I don't know if that would be an hour or not, but I kind of feel like if we're going to come get all the supplies, it would be good to load them right up on the camels rather than having to carry them around. Of course, then we'll have to house the camels for the night, too.
Yes, that should be easy. But if you do bring the camels, make sure you do take them along the main thoroughfare around. Don't come through the market that
Fair enough.
Yes. But yes, I'll get this ready. And when you are back, it will be here for you.
Do you have extra dagger sheaths? Mini ones for a gnome?
Um, just small knives. Yes.
Like a sheath, like an extra sheath for a dagger. We have a friend that loves stabbing things, and I want to make sure that they have backup sheaths just so that he doesn't stab one of us when we sleep. They don't stab one of us when we
It's a turn of phrase.
Yeah.
Stabbing things.
He throws the knives like darts in a wall. It's very safe.
I
Safe
see.
company that we travel with. All different types.
So there are some. This we're not an armory, but there are some knives and a few smaller weapons over in this other section. You can look and see if there's anything that catches your fancy. Most sheaths come with knives.
I'm sure they would appreciate both.
Yeah. Thank you. I sort of start looking at the shelf with Rosalia, and I look over at her and I go, I think that's a great idea to get Panabon some stuff. We might not want to tell I whisper this. We might not want to tell everybody that he goes around stabbing people. They. You're right. What am I thinking?
I'll leave it up to them to find out.
Right.
All right. So with that, she gets busy, starts going through the shelves and kind of gathering certain things. And you're heading to the stables?
Stable. Mm-hmm.
All right. Meanwhile, Aegis is walking around down in getting near the palace ward. Everything gets really clean. There's a lot of dust in this city, a lot of sand and dirt, but here it's like they must have sweepers every night clearing it out the closer you get to the palace. And eventually you get to this very large parade field that is between the palace walls and the barracks. And just kind of looking around, trying to see what all is available. And which one of these might be the hospital. You do see there's a building kind of to the east side of the barracks that is it's about 3 stories tall. It's maybe the 4th biggest building around this area. So there's like the palace, there's the barracks, there's something over there that you're pretty sure is not a hospital, and then this building here, and then everything else looks like housing.
As I get closer into as it gets cleaner, as people's clothes gets nicer, it just kind of like, he looks put together. He has all his stuff together. But as I get into like a cleaner, richer area, I actually look a little bit more uncomfortable. He starts to fidget. He's kind of looking around a little bit more self-conscious. Can I perhaps use an insight roll to like maybe find my way to the hospital or kind of plan my path?
Yeah. I mean,
unless it's obvious.
I mean, right now it's this one building that you think might be it, and it's across the parade field. So you can either beeline directly across the parade field, or you can skirt around and walk in front of the barracks or walk behind the barracks if you want to walk behind the barracks.
Is it a grass field or like a paved road or?
It's some sort of tiling.
Is it real nice?
Yeah, it is. It looks well kept. There's not a lot of cracked tiles that you can see. You do see, no, not at this time of day. There's no one really walking on the field itself. You don't know if it's because there's some sort of taboo about walking on the field, or if it's just because it's nearing noon and there's no shade. So okay, it might be taboo. I'm going.
Well, that's what Roland thinks.
Right. So Yeah. You just kind of just start beelining across about halfway, just about the point of no return. You kind of get why nobody's on the parade field at this time of day, because it's hot. The sun is hot,
Oh,
and the heat reflects right off the tiling, and
ooh.
so it's you're almost like in an oven turned like really low.
Inside of an oven because
Very
I'm wearing armor. An
Yeah,
oven
and
and an
you're wearing
oven.
armor. Yes, and you're wearing armor. And so it's definitely it's definitely one of those things where you're like, okay, maybe I should have gone around. So go ahead and give me
Power walking.
yes, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Our DC is going to be 13 here. You make it across the field, just sweating, tired. You're reaching for your water skin because you need to replenish the fluids that you lost on that 300-yard walk. But you make it safe and sound. You're not dying or dehydrated or anything. And there is the building, and yes, it does have the sort of blood drop that is kind of the standard symbol for healing.
Mhm. I push back all the hair that is melted out of my bun, all the stray hair that's melted out of my bun, and I'll make my way into the doorway of the hospital.
Okay. Much like a lot of the other large buildings, there's not really a door per se. It's just there's heavy drapery over the entrance that looks like, at night they just kind of close that, or if there's bugs or what have you. But they're pulled aside for now, and walking in, you see it's relatively quiet. You don't see anybody right away, but there's the front entrance kind of splits. There's two doorways, but it looks like those both doorways lead into the same larger chamber. Looking into that larger chamber, you see that there's a few beds, but mostly chairs, and there's a couple of people in there. Nobody's on the beds. There's a couple of people sitting in chairs, just kind of discussing something with somebody that's kind of sitting with them and asking questions, which you figure out is probably a physician talking to a patient. It's not rocket science.
There are a lot of people in this room waiting.
No, there's not anybody in the room itself waiting. There's just like I want to say there's like 5 people inside. There's 2 people that are patients you think are patients, 2 that you think are doctors, and then like an orderly maybe.
I'll go up to one of the doctors then.
Okay. He is sitting with a patient, so they're in the midst of their discussion.
Oh, then I won't interrupt. I'll just I'll look around for somebody who's not busy.
So there's two like I said, there's the 2 doctors. There is like an orderly maybe that is kind of working kind of between the 2 doctors. That is, if the doctor like needs something, or the orderly will go grab it and bring it back. But when they're not directly employed, they're kind of just waiting. So that
I'll go with the orderly then.
Probably an opportunity. Okay. He looks up as you are approaching in your heavy armor and sweaty self.
Taido, I am Aegis Ing of the Ing family from the east wind of Denang, and I hold up a symbol of the the Danong Physicians Guild. It's a walking stick, 2 hands clasped together, and a healing herb in the front of that. It's just a picture of that on a badge. Assuming that he knows what that is. I am a healer from Chai Tuating, and I need some supplies for a long journey.
Oh,
Do you
okay. Yes. So you're from Danong, and you need supplies from the hospital. You should probably talk to one of the doctors. They can they can help you, I think. But
They are busy, and you are the only one who is available.
Oh, there's more doctors. If you go up the stairs, and you'll see there's a couple rooms for the doctors, and then but before the patients' rooms.
Bitaru, and I'll walk towards that way.
Oh, good day, sir. And then
Keep
he
walking.
turns and yeah. So heading up the stairs, again, it's pretty quiet in here. You do hear the sound of somebody maybe several rooms down, kind of just softly just moaning, that kind of groan of just pain and sickness that just won't recede. So it's just, they're constantly in pain. They're constantly just kind of like,
In a room somewhere?
yeah, in a room somewhere ahead. Like, that's the only real noise you hear.
Is it on my way?
No, it is not on your way.
Is it within 10 paces?
I mean, it's about 2-3 doors down from the top of the stairs.
Can I peek in the room?
Sure. So you walk past the first 2 doors on either side, and then there's another set of doors. The 4th door on the left is where you're hearing the sound come from, and you can tell the third set is where the patients start. So the first 4 offices, 2 on either side, probably for doctors. After that, you've got some patient rooms, and poking your head in, there is a fellow on a bed. He's sweating profusely and is kind of curled into a fetal ball, and laying on his side. There's a bucket on the floor in front of him right now. It looks empty and clean, and he's kicked off any coverings, and he just kind of looks miserable.
Sir. Does he have any sort of like consciousness? Is he like just in the throes of fever?
He's conscious, and as you speak, you see like his eyes kind of just flick towards you, but he doesn't really move.
What is your ailment?
And then his body kind of racks as he sort of just starts to dry heave a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Can I tell what's wrong by just looking at what his symptoms?
It could be a lot of things. Just from here, he could be sick with something. He could be just stupidly dehydrated. Without taking time to actually examine him, you're not really gonna know what it is that's wrong with him.
Well, I'll do an examination, not a deep violating examination, but like just a basic examination, if I could.
Okay. As you start to step into the room, you hear someone behind you, a woman's voice. Sir, can I help you?
This man is in pain. What's wrong with him?
Yes, he's fell ill with a fever. He's unfortunately must wait it out. There's little we can do except try to make him as comfortable as we can and keep him well watered.
What manner of fever?
I believe it's. Who are you?
What manner of fever does he have?
Sir, who are you?
My name is Aegis Ing. That's not important right now. He's in pain.
He is. There is little more we can do for him.
I'll slowly walk up to him, and I'll cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay. So as you cast Cure Wounds on him, and as you because she wasn't like right up close to you, like she had come out one of the doors, so she's like 15 feet away. So you just were like and went inside.
Mm-hmm.
and started casting the spell, which has words, by the way, right? Cure Wounds.
Mm-hmm.
So you say what it is that you say, and she's coming in behind. She's like, sir, and as the magic kind of settles over the man, his shivering stops. He kind of gives a sigh. His eyes close, and you see like tension kind of like leave his limbs, and every once in a while he still trembles, but it's not the like continuous shivering, it's it definitely seems like he feels better, if not, he's not cured, but the pain in the moment has kind of receded a little bit. What did you do?
I took away your pain. Now
Not
you can heal.
him. He's
Oh.
Yeah.
I took away his pain.
What do you mean? You took away his pain?
It's hard to explain.
Aegis Ing, you said was your name?
Yes.
Yes, I am. I'm Hoshke. Can you come with me to the office?
I'm very busy. I'm looking for supplies for a journey.
Okay. Maybe I can help you with that.
Okay. And I will follow.
Let us speak. Okay, so she walks back to the office, steps inside, and indicates that, please have a seat, and then sits behind a desk. So you are. How did you do that?
I'm a healer from Chai Tua Ting.
That doesn't answer my question.
You don't know the Ings of Chai Tua Ting?
I can't say I do, and still, that doesn't answer the question. How did you do that?
I found some time ago that if I channel my thoughts very strongly, that I can take away pain and sometimes cure wounds. I know it's confusing for me as well.
Is this some sort of trick?
No. It was hard for me to understand at first. But as time goes on, I have accepted it as nature.
Something. What did you say?
I smile. I fear you won't believe me if I told you.
With words, you ease the man's pain, so I'm up to hearing at least what you have to say.
Sometimes I have dreams, and in these dreams, there is a beautiful woman, clad in armor. Her name is Nipoe. And when I saw the man in pain, I said, Nipoe, don't be cruel. Help the man. And I believe that she did.
The woman from your dreams. Very, very, very well. So what you need supplies? You're going on a journey.
Yes. I am taking a caravan to, it's called Gialudi. Is that what it is? Back in character, Gialudi.
Yes, she just kind of nods. Okay.
I have signed a contract to make sure the caravan gets there safely. I am a doctor. I need supplies to do so. I'm also looking for perhaps a covered wagon so that I may have a clinic to work for.
So if you're traveling to Gialudi, there's you're not going to be able to take a wagon. Everything will be you'll need to have your camel carry everything, but they yes. So what sort of just restoratives and salves and herbs?
I hand her a list that I've already written. It's got medkit on it. It's got various herbs that I could use for healing. What else did I write down here? Also, phosphorescent moss, some water, some parchments. These are all spell components, by the way. Stuff like that. Like I have it all summarized on a list that I've already written down.
Right.
And then
She
just
looks over it.
Yeah.
We have most of this here, and most of it in stock, enough that we could spare. They have a hospital in Giuladi too.
I'm trying to help men survive, or people survive a trip. Why are you questioning my motives? Just give me what I need.
I beg of you, sir, calm down. But
I'm calm. I'm very calm.
as you say, we can get, as I said, we can get most of this for you. A market cost.
What's that?
The cost.
The price.
Yes.
What is the price?
It would be the market cost. I mean, I don't have the prices memorized, so I'll have to gather it and tabulate that. Oh, okay. I just the market price though is that acceptable?
How will I know unless you tell me what the market price is?
Listen, Mr. Aegis. I'm not going to gather all of the items on this list if you are not going to purchase them. I don't know how much it's all going to cost. The best I can say is that it will be market price. I am not attempting to benefit from this transaction. I just need to be sure that we can restock what you take.
Fair enough. I will pay your market price.
Okay, thank you. Wait, here? And she gets up, and like walks out of the office, just kind of looking at you, and then she turns around the corner and
I
off
put
she
my
goes,
bag.
presumably to get your stuff.
I put my bag down and use this opportunity to limber up. So I start doing stretches as she's gone.
Okay. As noon arrives, Panabon, you open your eyes. Probably been awake for a little bit, but you know, what's
Yes, well, Shaylun and I have been on the run for a while, and there's a lot of things that are required to survive on the run, especially when people mistake you for average gnomes and believe you're easy marks, which is not the case, but it's fun sometimes to prove them wrong. And so for me, what I'm thinking about today is the idea of, I keep going back into my mind, the idea of these kind of undead creatures. Now, I don't know if the creature with the long tongue and the no hands was like them. I don't actually know because I didn't want to stick around to find out. But I'm thinking something that might be smart to do today, while I have an interrupted opportunity, is to do some shopping, shall we say, in the special way that I shop for things that Shay and I need. And so to begin this process, what I do is I kind of kit myself out in a, I call it my old person persona. I have a mask, and I have kind of my traveling clothes are a little scruffier than my normal clothes, so I don't look quite as resplendent. This character's name is Dorothy Zbornak, who will be referred to as such. And I'm going to start a ritual that I've learned, kind of to make things easier for myself, called Split the Veil, where I will be becoming 2 Panabons, essentially, for the price of 1, for a short time. I'm pretty sure.
So, Split the Veil. All right, let's look at what exactly Split the Veil does.
Yes, let's do that. Because this is the first time I've used it.
All right, so let's see if we can get this up on the thing for everyone to look at. I think if I do this, then it opens for tech, maybe. We'll see if that comes up. If not, you'll just read it. So it says, so starting at 3rd level, you can use an action to swap your masks. You create an illusory copy of yourself. This copy appears in the same square as you, is identical in appearance, except the mask is the one you swapped out from. So it does require the mask, and it will be wearing the mask you were wearing, while you, the actual you, is wearing the new mask you have switched to.
Yeah.
The copy has a very low armor class, and it just has 1 hit point. As a bonus action, you can direct it to do things such as dash and interact with an object. It can't carry an object, so it actually has enough like solidness to to push a button maybe, or to knock something off of a table, but not enough to actually pick something up and bring it back. It has an attack bonus. Yeah, it has an attack bonus that actually will inflict damage. However, of course, if it gets hit, it will just vanish. And finally, it lasts for a number of rounds. So a round is 6 seconds, equal to your charisma modifier.
Yes.
So that means your charisma modifier currently is 3 plus 3. So it will last for 18 seconds at a time.
Okay.
So you might want to do that before you get to the quote-unquote shopping, if I understand that correctly.
There is no limit to how often you can do this, is the thing that makes it pretty beefy.
Yes, but it takes 10 minutes at a time to do it, if I remember correctly, correct?
No, it's an action. It's so the thing that you're thinking of,
Yeah.
here is Twilight Soul.
Oh, yes. We don't want to do that yet.
Right.
No, so basically what it is I need to create an old couple, a male and a female, that are both me. And Panabon B's ability to push things off shelves will be very useful when we get to wherever we're going. And so, yeah, we're just going to walk through the marketplace as an old couple, unassuming and totally not with any stabling implements at all. It's fine. It's great.
Okay, it is strange. So this is something you can do. It just means that every 20 seconds you're switching roles, and the other one is like maybe flickering out for just a moment, which can be noticeable if people are paying attention. So,
well, I'm already in costume, so maybe I'll wait until I get to where I'm going, because I still need to figure out where that is. But I'm already an old lady, so we can start there.
All right. So old lady Panabon exits the tavern.
Not quite yet.
Oh, not quite yet.
Right at the door, somebody has brought in an umbrella-like object, and I'm just going to steal that so that I have some shade, because I'm old, and it's really hot. So I've just got some shade, got an umbrella. Life is good.
Okay, it's like half an umbrella. It's in the south side of Mirakodashta, like, you know, it's the idea of carrying a parasol to keep the sun off of you is not as widespread as it might be in Palacune. And so someone does come in, or someone had come in at some point and tossed an umbrella into the thing, but it's definitely an umbrella that's seen better days.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so now Panabon as Dorothy is going to walk along, and the idea is to get to the nice part of town, and to approach a very busy merchant and ask them where I might find an herbalist at, so that they just direct me and don't ask any other questions.
So you're going to head to the market in the northern part of Aishan. So is that the dock market then? Which is the one you're most familiar with?
Sure, we'll go with whatever is the most familiar. I don't quite know where to find the herbalist at, but I assume the city will have one.
Likely. All right, so you get you travel for about an hour. The umbrella is probably calling a little bit of attention to you especially once you cross the bridge to the northern half of the city. But you know, no one stops you. No one, you know, you just get a few curious looks, and you get to the market, and it's quite market-tastic. What kind of merchant are you looking for?
Oh, wasn't there that lovely merchant that accused me of stealing things with the bowls earlier? I wonder what they're doing.
Well, it looks like they're over there trying to hawk some bowls, you know, like there they are. They're some are kind of nice. The top of his stall, you can see there's some like scorch marks on the like thick reed beams that are holding up a new cloth cover that he has managed for himself. And there he is, selling bowls and plates, mugs.
Yeah. You, young man, I need your assistance.
As he turns, let's see how well disguised you are.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, so you have a disguise kit.
I do.
And that is a skill that you can use to...
Let's see how good my charisma is.
Not bad. So I was going to say that would probably be like a 15. It would be a 10 to just like be disguised as something else, but I was raising it 5 because you would be a gnome, so you're little, and yesterday little people caused him some trouble, and so he kind of would be on the lookout for that. But with a 19, you are a very convincing old lady Panabon.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes, ma'am, what are you in need of bowls?
Maybe particularly, I'm looking for an herbalist, something for my foot. Do you know where I could find one? I have a horrible sword, I have to walk up and down the street, and I'm just looking for somewhere where I can find an herbalist. Do you know where I can get one?
Get an herbalist?
Yes, for my foot. I could show it to you. It's really, I don't think.
No, that won't be necessary. Do you know where the hospital is?
There's a hospital. I don't think I need to worry someone at a hospital. I'll be fine. I just a storefront, if you know of one, that would be great.
Perhaps there's a stall that sells various herbs, but I think more for cooking foods, but maybe they might know better where to get where to find what you're looking for.
Well, that's as helpful as you can be. I suppose that'll have to do. Thank you, young man, and you have a good day.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah. I assume they pointed in a direction.
They did. They pointed in a direction.
So moving further in that direction, I'm going to try the cooking purveyor first.
Okay, yeah, it's just there's a stall. There's various. So there's a table in front, and that's got a spread of various vegetables and some fruits that you're not familiar with. Then just kind of hung up around the stall are various sprigs of things. The proprietor there is currently busy with another customer. Looks like they're wrapping up a sale, so you have a little bit of time to kind of look up and see or decide what you're doing here.
I think I'm actually. This doesn't satisfy me. This is too outdoors. Is the first thing about it, because it's not inside, which will not go to my benefits. But there is a hospital, and hospitals like old people, and I feel like the hospital shouldn't be too hard to find, right?
Probably not. He pointed in a direction. And if you ask people where the hospital is, they will gladly point you in that direction.
I'll talk to this herbalist, this cooking herbalist then. The cooking herbalist.
Okay. Yeah. As she's finishing up and she turns. Oh, yes, miss. How may I help you?
Hello. I was wondering if you could help me. I was looking for an herbalist for teas and things like that. Do you specialize in anything of that nature?
For teas?
Yes. For teas, for herbs and teas, things like that. I need a tincture. I've got this boil on my back, and I just need something for it. So I was hoping for some lovely tea to make a tincture with.
I have some teas, but not perhaps what you're looking for. It sounds more like you need medicine.
Yes, that might be good. Yes. Do you have an herbalist that does anything like that in this city? I'm from a few cities over, and we usually do all those kind of things at home.
just down the way. No. I think probably you would be best served going to the hospital. There are some herbalists maybe that deal in what you're looking for, but they'd be mostly on the southern side or perhaps on the outskirts. Um, it, most of the people in the northern part of Mercadashta will go to the hospital for all their needs.
Oh, that seems like a good idea then. I think that's what I'll do. Maybe they'll know what to do about the boil on my back. I appreciate your help. Could you just direct me to which way the hospital is? Am I going the right direction?
Oh, if you exit the market out of the southwest side and just follow the main thoroughfare, eventually, you see the palace, yes? And
Oh, yes, the lovely palace. It's part of why we're here. We were touring the different lovely sites of Mercadashta.
yes, so across from the palace is the barracks, and then closer to the market is where the hospital will be, next to the barracks.
Oh, how fun. Thank you so much for your help. I wish
Yes,
a good blessing on you today.
Oh, thank you. I hope, I hope your back is better.
Why, thank you. It's just the fun of being old. Just never get old. Just stay the same age you always are. You're beautiful, darling. I love you.
Panabon says to the various middle-aged merchants, some with gray hair. Young man, I'm 57. All right, so over in the caravan ward, we are about to purchase some camels, but we're going to have to purchase these camels when we get back from our break. 10 minutes. We'll see you on the other side. Hello. We're back. All right, so before the break, I'm not sure what was happening, but we're pretty sure it's going to be hilarious soon. Right now, however, we've got the rest of the group heading towards the stable where there are some camels that they want to purchase, along with probably some barding, some saddlebags, and stuff for camels. There's a smell associated with camels, especially when there's a lot of camels together. And that smell is pretty powerful. It's if you're not used to being around a lot of animals, a lot of pack animals like that, it can be a little off-putting. But mostly just serves to let you know that here there be camels. And as you approach, there's a sort of wooden building that has a large fenced-in area behind it that maybe there's 20 camels just kind of chilling out, looking bored. Camel life, doing camel things.
Hashtag camel life.
Yeah.
Smelly creatures.
But there's, like I said, there's the wooden building. The door is currently closed. There's a couple of people out in the field with the camels, just kind of walking. Looks like they're tending to them, checking, making sure they haven't hurt themselves or aren't sick, what have you. There it is, a stable.
Rosalia and I normally just rent the camels when we hire with the caravan. This will be the first time we're actually purchasing one. So I think, Rosalia, you've got your sights set on a horse, so I don't know if that's going to be possible.
Yeah,
yeah.
I prefer to walk if I can't get a horse. I don't want to ride on camel.
I agree with you. I would much rather ride a horse than one of these humpbacked monstrosities. But I will say it is hotter here than I've ever seen. I would say just get a camel at least to carry your things, even if you don't ride it. Might be a good option because it's always better to have it in case we need it than not to have it. Maybe.
And 250 water skins, I mean, it's going to be pretty heavy if you have to carry that yourself.
I think if other people need their stuff carried, I can bring an extra camel, but I personally don't want to have one. And I would rather find a horse if possible.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can buy both.
So
All right.
can we go into the stable?
You can head into the stable, and as you head into the building, actually, there's a lady kind of sitting behind a counter, just going over some papers in a ledger, and then she looks up. Oh, hello. How are you today?
Doing mighty fine. How about yourself?
I'm well enough. It's hot out today, but
It looks like you guys have a lot of these camels. I'm hearing so much about. Me and my friends here, and a few more who are not here. We're looking to procure some of these camels for a caravan trip.
okay. We can help you with that. How many camels do you need?
All right, now we need at least, I would say, 4 camels. I take it. Do you have any horses? Like, I know they're not the best for this, but
We can get horses, but if you're crossing the Vaishan, if you're crossing the Ashani Desert, then you will take a camel. The horses don't make that journey.
so I thought. Well, thank you for answering that. I look at Rosalia and I say, it looks like they don't have any. I'll just get 2 more for our things. Is that okay?
So
It's a cute
6 camels.
accessory. It's a cute accessory.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna get 2. We're gonna need 6 camels.
6
And
camels.
I feel like Aegis is going to want another one for all of his stuff, but maybe Panabon and Shay wouldn't mind sharing one. So I think that works. Yes, 6.
6 camels. Do you know camels?
I've ridden on them a couple times. Rosalia and myself have been on camels, which is why she dislikes them so much. But I think we're looking for ones that have a better personality than an average. If that's a
I just asked
possibility.
if I was just asking in case you wanted to pick your own camels. There are some in the stable that I would say have a more even temperament. They will probably cost a little more. And as a general rule, camels go for about 50 gold coins. You'll probably also need all the saddlebags and saddles and the like. So it's generally 65 per camel, fully equipped to be ready to carry you across the desert. A lot of times you can recoup that cost on the other end if you sell to the stable there, or you can keep your camel if you're returning. But
Well, I mean, we are buying 6, so any way you could give us a half a dozen discount?
So how much would you like to pay for the lot? 65, 6. I think that is that's 300. Like 390.
Well, I think 300 would be fair.
Make a persuasion test.
All right.
Oh, you have an inspiration.
You have an
Ooh.
inspiration for this.
I will
You
hit
do.
an advantage then for this. And this is persuasion. Yep. All right, here we go. And it did not roll advantage, even though I told it to. So I'm gonna roll it.
It did. It did roll.
Oh,
advantage.
it did. Oh, funny.
You are
Well,
under the
there we
effects of
go.
exhaustion, and so you also have disadvantage.
Right. Well, 19 is still 19.
19 is better than 8, which is what it could have been, right?
Right.
That's quite low. Perhaps I could come down to 350.
Let's make it a even 345.
Make a persuasion test.
This is gonna be worse, I'm sure.
Yep.
Oh, and that should not be advantage. So that's
Yeah, it's disadvantage. Yep. An even 345.
350 sounds great.
Okay. 350. And we'll get these. Do you have your? Do you have everything in one of the staging areas, or is there someplace we should bring them?
Yes, we are traveling with Norsam's group. If you're familiar with her.
Yes. They some of these camels belong to merchants that came with Norsam's group when they came through here from Julaladi. So yes. Okay, I will make sure that they're staged there. Is there a name I should give so they know whose camels they are?
Yes, and then I tell them all of our names, being very thorough here. And if I'm throwing myself under the bus, so are all of them.
Okay. Very well, party of Peruinya, Panabon, Aegis. Yeah, the whole group. So do you have the coin to pay now, or are you will you need to return with it?
I think we'd have the coin to pay down half, but our friends who are purchasing the other ones, we will need to get it. So I turn to Rosalia and Lachlan and they're like, do you guys have enough in your purse to pay for yours? So I'm looking in my own inventory.
I can tell you I've got enough to put about half in the local, like the Danong currency, and then maybe 20. So I can get 50, but it's not all gonna be the same currency. They're both gold.
What is the one Danong name for gold?
Mook. Right?
The bill, it's a mook. MUK is what it says, mook, but it's a really quick on that M sound, so it's a mook.
I've got to do math and know what a Nyack and a Peking is to get to whatever is a 60 mook.
So if you look in the if you click on the little shield, it'll pop it up and tell you what it is. It'll say
Okay.
it's a copy of the source.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're making new worlds here. All right.
I see.
while you are all doing this math and then heading to wherever you're heading next, Panabon, the hospital is easy to find. It only takes you about 15 minutes to get there from the market that you're at, because you didn't go like the long way around. So you don't even have to cross the parade field, which is an impressive parade field, by the way. It's just a big, open, wide, brightly lit space, but it's impressive. And there's heavy curtains hanging down, and there it is. Big teardrop that says, "Hey, this is a place of healing."
Lovely. We'll see how much help they can be. Hello, you, young man at the counter. You, hello.
So no counter here. There's as you enter, there's a stairway to the right, and then there's two openings that lead into the same large chamber in front. There are some people inside. As you do yell, "Hey, you, young man," this fellow kind of like pokes his head out and then comes. Yes, ma'am. Can I help you?
Hello, yes. I'm from a city a few towns over, and I have some questions about herbs and tinctures and things. Do you have someone that can help me with that?
Like just questions, or
I'm also willing to purchase. Listen, I'll just tell you what I need, and then you tell me where you think I should go. Is that okay? That's okay. That's what we're going to do. So, what I have happen in my family is that we have this really beautiful burial ceremony for people that pass away, because we don't really have a hospital. I mean, we do, but it's fine. And so what I need to do is I need to figure out, because my sister-in-law, she died, and she wants to come be buried in Marrakesh, but I want to make sure she can survive the journey. So I need to know what herbs I need, both to make sure that she can survive, and I need to know what herbs not to get, because, I don't want anything bad to happen, because my family would absolutely hate me, although we all really hate her too, But, when someone dies, you want to think well of them. So where do you think I should go?
She died.
Well, she's going to die. She's very close to it. It's fine. By the time we get back, she'll be dead, and then I have to do the whole funeral thing. So I just need to know kind of what herbs I need to make sure she gets to Meridosh in one piece for wherever we're going to bury her at. And then I need to make sure which ones not to get, so that nothing bad happens on the journey.
Right at this point, you see a woman kind of come around from a side room that you didn't quite see. It's kind of next to the stairwell. And as she's coming out, he looks over and he's like, Hoshke, this woman needs your help. And then he just kind of back into the chamber. And the woman looks over at you and says, she's got like a crate that she's holding. It looks like it's full of various, herbs and other things. Yes, can I help you, ma'am, today?
Oh, yes. Okay, so I'm not going to explain the whole story again, because that would be silly, but I basically need to know is what herbs I need to get for a funeral. Ones that are both good for a funeral, and then ones that I should stay away from completely.
Oh, okay. Certainly. Come with me. And she turns around and goes up the stairs.
I follow on the stairs in my old woman out.
Yep. The stairs flip around, and she walks into the first office on the left. As you follow in, you see there is good old Aegis.
As you walk in, you hear me talking to somebody. You come into my dreams. You give me symbols, but you don't represent yourself when we are helping people. This is cruel. People will think that I'm crazy. Meanwhile, I'm doing all of my calisthenic stretches, doing squats, limbering up for the trip. People are going to think I'm crazy if I keep talking to a person who isn't here.
she stops in the doorway for a minute, the doctor does, and then she just kind of skirts around, and then finally kind of comes into your vision, and puts the case down in front of you. That should have most of what you need, short of a war.
Sorry, I'm just limbering up. It's a key exercise for survival. Always stay limber.
That's practical advice. I agree. So I have this for you here, and then you need burial rites. Okay. So I'm gonna 15 gold or mook for this is what I will need for that, sir. If Mr. Aegis.
Perhaps we could come to an agreement of 10 for the service that I provided earlier.
Unfortunately, I will need the gold to repurchase these items.
Of course. I'll just give her the full price.
Okay. Yes, and then I will be right back. And she, a little bit flustered, but she just kind of walks out of the room, leaving Aegis with a very old, gnomish.
I pick up the crate. I say "Bitaru" to the doctor, which means thank you in Daywall, and I turn around and I walk right by the old lady.
That's 5-year-old lady.
All right.
That makes my life much easier, actually.
Well, there you are. In the doctor's office.
Oh, well, it's kind of rude. So I think what I might actually need to do is I might actually need to split myself into old man Panabon, whose name is Stan. And we're just going to start walking around, seeing what kind of medical herbage we can find, and we'll figure things out as we go.
So you're just going to start wandering into the offices and the patient quarters up here?
Well, I'm old, so if I'm lost and confused, people will direct me where I need to go.
Sure, that makes sense. There aren't any other doctors up here right now that you see. There's like 3 patients in the various rooms. There's like 8 rooms for patients. But the other rooms are like set up to receive patients, perhaps. I mean, there's all kinds of fun, interesting things. Like, are you looking for anything in particular? Are you just going to take random things that are shiny?
I don't want shiny, unfortunately. So the idea here is that I want to find herbs that would traditionally be used in basically to decompose corpses. So I've been looking at these undead people, and I don't want to use I'm like, maybe there's a way to do this without magic, and stabbing takes too long. So I need to figure out a way to get herbs that can basically decompose bodies, so that there's another way that I can do things that may or may not involve stabbing. And I'm trying to figure out how to accomplish this goal and task.
Okay. Yeah, that all makes sense to me. So eventually, yeah, like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to you, like the various things you're looking at. Like, you're not an herbalist. You're not really an alchemist. You don't know too much about nature or medicine. You literally have the worst skill set for finding some sort of herbs that will help decompose bodies faster.
That's what I wanted the herbalist for.
So yeah, so you're just kind of wandering around and looking at various things. And like I said, if there's other things you want to take, there's definitely a lot of stuff there. But if you're not, if you're dead set on looking for that, you don't find anything. But eventually, you do hear the doctor returning up the stairs.
Lovely. Okay. Well, I'll go into that, and I'll just be down the hall. Oh, hello again. I was looking for the restroom, and I got a little lost, but I'm back now. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. So I've a few things. For where are you from?
Just a few towns over. You wouldn't know the name if I gave it to you. It doesn't really matter. We're very private people.
Oh, okay. So I do have some herbs for the burial rites. It's like a silver piece, and it should do. There's some of the incense and a little bit of like a sage, and yeah.
And this will work. This will help too. So what is this? What does this do? This is our first time doing one. This is my first time in charge of one of these funerals, so I want to make sure I get the right things.
Generally, to burn the incense, the sage wards off evil, and
will any of these help a body to decompose? Because it gets very, very warm, but it also gets very cold at night, and there's lots of sand. And it just wouldn't do to have dead body parts of old people flying around everywhere. So I want to make sure that whatever we put in the ground will stay in the ground. It's my sister-in-law. No one really likes her.
So it's a silver for the herbs here. Do you want them?
Oh, sure, that'll be fine.
Okay.
Stan, get out of. I've got the silver piece. Here you go. Here's the silver piece.
All right. So you pay for this. It's just a little box of just some dried up leaves and various sundry incense cones, and it just kind of gives you this look like, rolling some dice. Oh, I get advantage on my dice roll too, because somebody did that for me. Woo!
Thanks, Banani42.
Thanks, Banani42. Oh, what did you get before? A 19? So she looks at you. What do you really need?
I'm sorry, dear.
Something to keep the dead in the ground. What are you looking for?
Something to keep the dead in the ground. It's as simple as that.
You dig a hole, put them in the ground, you cover the hole. That's it?
Well, you'd think that, but I'm hearing rumors these days, and I just want to make sure my sister-in-law stays where she's supposed to be. So if there's just something I can sprinkle over the sand even, or something I can is there like a cleaning agent, do you think, if like a hand pops out of the ground? Something. I'm just hearing things, and I want to make sure I got all my bases covered.
You got some Mr. Clean. No, mostly people look for things that the corpse hereabouts. Something that does the opposite is, I'm sure there are things, but we don't have anything like that.
Well, that's sad. That's a sad way to end my day. But I want to thank you for all of your very, very interesting help. And if there's another herbalist in town you think that might have another idea, I've been to a cooking herbalist, but they weren't any good. They just gave me some tea to get the boil on my back. So if you know of another herbalist, maybe I could go to that might have some information. I could always use that kind of help.
I'll keep it in mind.
Thank you. Blessings on you this day.
Thank you. And with that, you head out. After the camel purchase, where's everybody headed?
Like, what time is it?
It's getting to be about mid-afternoon. Most of you skipped lunch.
Let's go back to the Desert Bloom, have some lunch, and I don't know, maybe take a nap.
I don't think we paid the general store person either, which also needs.
Ooh, I mean, I gave that lady all of the gold and silver that I had, so I only gave her about 20 gold, and I don't know how much you have, but I don't have another 38.
Yeah, nope. I definitely used all of mine to get my camel, so...
Well, I think our best bet is for me to go down to the fights tonight, and then all of you guys place some bets and see if we get lucky.
No. I think that's a great idea.
Right? It solves all of our problems.
Yeah. I've seen you fight. You're pretty damn good.
I mean, and if worse comes to worse, Panabon can work the crowd. I don't know.
Lean into your talents.
All right. Well, so we need to come up with that 38.
Well, that's of mine. Rosalia, how much gold do you have? Do you know? I think you probably got about the same as I do, seeing we've been working the same jobs.
I used it all.
You're on what?
All right.
I look at her so surprised.
All right, well, so back to the inn.
Back to the inn.
Aegis, back to the inn.
No. I don't know if I necessarily need to roleplay something out though, but I want to go buy just food supplies that suit my tastes. Some things that are impractical.
You'll want to talk to the lady that was in the market with the herbs that was not helpful to Panabon, except told Panabon where the hospital was. That's the person you want.
Yeah. So I'll go there and I'll just buy some things that are like a little more gourmet. Some of them are kind of impractical for our trip. You know how we preluded.
Yes. Yes. Panabon.
Hello.
Are you heading back, or do you have another ploy?
Well, the person that I talked to, the second stall, said there might be some herbalists on the south side. But because I'm now aware that I don't really know what I'm looking for, and it may not be something that exists in Maragadashta, I think I actually need to talk to them with some herb experience. It's also, even with they have umbrella, it is boiling hot, and I'm not having a good time. And I'm annoyed that I didn't get the answers I was seeking for. So I'm going to head back to the Desert Bloom.
Okay. Eventually, everyone arrives at the Desert Bloom. Take some time to eat a meal, perhaps some rest. Everyone eventually gathers as the sun is starting to kind of get low in the sky. Probably late to pick up all the stuff that you're wanting to pick up, but 'tis the way. Peruinya knows that generally, if something happens overnight, they kind of expect you to come back the next day and just pick it up then. So yeah, it's the evening time, and there's little to do before, if you're heading to the fights, to head then to the Blue Joke Lodge.
All right, you guys, we got to talk finances real quick. So these camel are going to cost 350 gold pieces, and I don't know about y'all, but unless you all have 53.8 gold pieces, we're going to have to figure out a way to get that before tomorrow morning. Unless we want to borrow Norsiam's camels. She did offer, but who wants to do that, right?
I have a way.
That's kind of what I wanted to talk about.
Oh,
No.
you want to steal the camels? Yeah, I agree. Let's go steal them. That's fine.
No, I have a different idea. So,
Oh.
Lachlan, Rosalia, and I think it would be a great idea if we go down to the fights. I fight, you bet on me, I win the match, and then we have enough gold. And if worse comes to worse, Panabon, you could steal while the fight's going on and people are properly distracted. However, I will say, stealing from the Blue Joke Orcs will probably get you killed, so I think that should be a last option if you get my drift.
I mean,
But bet on me, and I'll win, and it'll be fine. And if worse comes to work, we'll go to the caravan, dead broke, with no supplies, and we have to borrow them from Northam.
I have a question.
And then we'll cross the desert. Someone will die, and we won't get paid.
I have a question that may be slightly easier. Did you notice, while you were talking with the camel person, I guess, were they tagging camels? Did you notice if they were tagging ears or marking them in any way?
Did I notice that?
I wasn't quite looking for that, so I can't tell you if they were or they weren't.
Amateurs. I'm working with amateurs. I'll tell you what. I will go and see, potentially, if you like this idea, I will go and see if they're tagging camels. And if they are to go to the caravan that will be working, what I will do is I will procure a few tags and I will just add them on. And it's likely that if they don't check their inventory too hard, they'll just send them over.
All right, Panabon.
It's fine. I've done it like 10 times. It's fine.
I believe you. I believe that you have done this before. I have also, I can tell you, I've worked in stables. I know how many horses, how many heads I have. And if some of those just were disappearing, especially if that's my livelihood, I'm pretty sure I'd realize that the people who came by talking about buying a lot of them this day were probably the people behind taking them.
Especially when we never come back to pay the balance. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a dead giveaway that it was us. And by the way, I already gave her all of our real names, so that's really not an option.
Well, that was silly.
But
I could always
Panabon,
stab her. I could stab her too. It'd be fine.
Let's remember that we aren't trying to cause more problems in this town. We're trying to escape from the problems. So, look,
All right.
I do think it would be nice if we could have this plan. You know, I believe that maybe Peruinya can win this fight, and we can just bet on her and win. But knowing that you do have the talents that you do have, I would say, please be careful trying to steal from people tonight. It may be necessary, but we really, really don't want to get caught.
All right. If I see someone from the Thieving Guild, I won't thieve from them. That's fine.
Or from the Blue Joke Orcs. They're serious.
Orcs never have any good money anyways.
I mean,
I'm not going to argue with you there.
I have no idea if that's true or not, so okay.
That is not true. That is absurd.
All right.
Okay, fine. Can I stab someone if they look at you wrong while you're at the fight?
Look,
can I
let's
stab
put it
someone?
this way. If anything goes wrong tonight, there will be stabbing to be had. I can promise you that.
I had an awful day trying to find the things I was looking for, so I need to release some tension. The stabbing will be nice.
A bit of a paradox you may run into. It is my experience that the largest, strongest orc probably has the most riches. Good luck.
Yeah, that's fine. I have ways. Oh, I need to talk to you, by the way. I went to the hospital today, and I was trying to find some herbs and things to try to ward off the creatures that we're trying to get away from. And I got some sage and some incense, but like, is there something like an herb that we could get that would help like bodies decompose? Do you know of anything like that?
An herb? Do I can I make an herbalism roll and see if I know anything like that?
You definitely can.
Let's do it.
You have a silver gives you a advantage. Yes, is that right?
Ooh.
Oh, and of course, Rosalie, you're a hunter, so if you can think of any herbs that would be useful, that would be marvelous.
It's my. There it is.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So as a physician, you also kind of know. So understanding how bodies just decompose in the first place, right? You do know that there are some certain fungi will help quickly decompose a body. There's you know that there are certain bacteria that will make the process go faster. But you know, like, instead of taking 3 weeks to decompose, it takes a week to decompose, right? Like that much faster. But yeah, that's what you know. There are
I
things.
say that all to you in the most monotone, language above your head way possible.
Shoot. No, I was hoping there was something that would make it happen quicker.
Why not
Rosalind,
try acid?
what about acid? What about acid?
Acid is corrosive. It will eat away a body in moments.
Do you have acid? Do you know how to make acid? If I get the supplies, could you create it?
Possibly.
Okay. Because I could venture out to see an herbalist and get supplies for that, potentially. And then I could join you at the fights later.
Is that a sorry, Dan, is that a poisoner thing? Or will alchemy cover making acid?
Alchemy will cover making acid.
Okay.
Yep.
Are there things that we could just find, like anarchists cookbook style? To
Yes,
make acid?
it is. There are dice rolls you can make to find the right ingredients to make the acid. So
You may not have to waste your time spending money on ingredients.
Oh,
Let's see what
trust
we
me,
can
I'm
find around
not spending money. Just tell me what
I
you need.
forgot who I was talking to.
Just give me a list of ingredients, and they'll magically appear when you need them.
all right. Well,
I think if everybody is okay, then we're getting ready to go to these fights.
And everyone knows how much they each need to bet to cover the rest of their 58.3 gold pieces for their camel. I know I gotta cover 38.
I have enough. I put it away for the camels, so now I'm at 0. So I can't buy anything else. But
I'll give Locks my share.
okay.
Betting is not my thing. You take care of this.
All right.
Dragonborn. If it's possible, I could possibly stand in your corner and be your ring doctor.
Ooh, yes, I think that would be a good choice.
Very well.
Okay.
All
Also, I took a nap, so am I not exhausted now, Danny?
unfortunately, that is not all it takes for you to not be exhausted anymore. You will need a long rest.
Mm-hmm.
Happily being exhausted at level 1 is not going to affect your fighting.
Just skill checks, right?
It's the checks.
All right.
Pretty sure
Well,
just the checks.
let's limber up. Let's do this.
I'd also like to ask Rosalia if, as a hunter or as a person from where they're from, if they know of any herbs or anything that can help bodies decompose that I might procure, potentially.
I don't have anything like you guys have in this world. It's completely elven, completely foreign.
Oh. Okay. I just thought I'd check because you seem very strong and wise and good at stabbing things. So I thought maybe if you knew. That's a compliment coming from Panabon, by the way. They admire the way that you stab things.
Actually, Rosalia, I recall you speaking to Shay about having experience with the apparition that we saw in the graveyard. Do you have any knowledge of how to defeat it?
That would be something Danny would know.
Yes. So, yes.
Who is this Danny?
Who is this Danny? So
Danny
what I will
boy.
do here, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. So it's going to be in the chat for you, Rosalia. There you go. So, and do.
Now, whether she'll tell the rest of us is a different story.
Right.
Yeah, because just for all the people watching, on our screens, we see gobbledygook for
Yes.
what's being written. Like, it's just numbers and letters. You guys get to see the cool stuff.
All right. So yeah, there you go. You should be able to see that, Leah. So that's what you know mostly.
So what I know is that you can kill it before it disappears, and it takes over the bodies of dead people. So you can only destroy the body of the dead person. But when it's not inside the dead body, it's vulnerable to attack. It is energy from my...
That's
So
very
you would need
helpful.
magic to defeat it then, right?
You can attack it without magic, but it's not as effective.
I know when I swung my sword through it, I don't think it did anything.
Shaylin would have the right kind of magic to fight.
Oh.
More so than... Well, I can as well, but she would be the one to talk to about in this world, that type of magic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to get all into it right now, but I noticed during the fight you did some pretty cool things that maybe I could learn from. So I definitely would like to train with you, especially while we're doing this little caravan out on the road, if that's okay, Miss Rose.
What do you do when you fight? I know you have a gun and you have that cool cowboy hat, but I don't know. Everything was happening so fast I didn't see. I just saw people falling.
Yeah.
All of his power comes from his cowboy hat.
Let's take it off and see what happens.
Sure.
Yeah, I like the hat on. But no. And this I guess is the first time all of y'all are sort of hearing this, but for me, I can't even really explain how the powers I use work. Some time ago, I came into this power thanks to a being that I've only seen in a dream a few times now. It is magic. That much I do know. It's a similar type of magic to what you use yourself. And I know that I can use it to fulfill some purpose that I don't really even at this point.
You channel the power from a higher being?
That's what the being told me, yeah.
Same here.
Yeah. I got that feeling during the fight. That's why I think I could learn a lot from.
Well, I don't know what all my powers are yet.
Yeah. But well, then we can figure it out together.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I got no voice in my head.
higher beings and all that. You know what? Gnomes don't even have a god. I can't believe y'all at least get higher beings. I have to worship Melfroon. Oh.
I say higher being, but I don't even understand it. Let's get, before it gets too late, let's get to the fight. But Rosalia, I do hope that we can work together and learn from each other.
I would be open to it. More open than having a camel on this journey.
Well, let's first figure out if we're going to be able to pay for these damn camels first.
I still don't see why I can't just steal and stab. It just seems like a lot of effort. But
That's
whatever.
why I use all my money, so I don't have to.
I guess we're heading for the fight.
Yep.
I'll just make a little detour at the herbalist. I'll be there a few minutes after all of you.
All right then. So you're heading to the lodge forthwith.
With, like that you said.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, going through the streets at night. And Panabon, you're traveling with at least until they cross the bridge.
Oh yeah.
Or were you looking for something in the southern part?
There were herbalists in the southern part, and it's probably, I wouldn't even have to use my disguise. I could just probably thieve and break in and take my, now that I know what I need.
This is a true story. All right, so we'll come back to that.
Also, there's probably cash. If there's cash that I can steal too while I'm there, then like 3 birds, 1 stone.
We're so gonna be outlaws, you guys.
Oh man.
3 birds, 1 stone.
Fine. You'll be fine. I've been doing this a long time. You'll be fine.
It's a gnomish idiom.
Well, they're on their own, so we went to the lodge already.
Yes. So heading up towards the lodge, you find that there are several people kind of milling around outside. It's a weird kind of scene because the lodge is technically open to folks, but if you're not invited, like you're not being brought in by someone in particular, it's insulting to them for you to just walk in without someone bringing you in. And so you've got this like Studio 54 situation, right? Where there's all these people that want to go in and there's orcs that are kind of picking like who goes in. But it's mostly based off of if they know somebody, like, so, you know, not like, oh, you look glamorous, come into our club, but like, oh, I know that guy. Yeah, he's good. And then that person might have a couple friends, and then, you know, that's how you kind of network here. So, happily for Peruinya, she does recognize one of the orcs in front. Her name is Alkaishka, and she's just kind of hanging out, talking to folks.
I'll go approach her, maybe with Rosalia in tow, because they would know Rosalia as well from the last couple of times we've been at the fights, and say, hi, who's on the docket to fight tonight?
As some of the boys, and there's a couple of outsiders. Are you wanting to throw in tonight in the ring?
I'm feeling pretty good today, so I think I am. I lie, obviously, for those that are watching.
It's quite a group you have.
Ah, yes.
We're the Peruinya fan club.
He's too generous. But they are folks that we're going to be traveling in our next caravan together. They're very interested to see the fights.
Very well. Happy to have you, especially if you're fighting tonight. Come with me. And then she turns and leads whoever is here. Yes, there is some gentlemen here, and like I said, some of the boys, of course, they're always getting in the ring, and then I think is it? Yeah, I think that Brekro is fighting tonight. Whoever makes it to the end, if they can defeat him, then I believe that that Boss Savrufti has something for anyone that can beat Brekro. So could be a fruitful night for you.
Well, I mean, if I try to act humble, if I can make it that far, whoever could beat him absolutely is deserving of a very good purse.
Indeed. And eventually you kind of get brought into a large, so the lodge itself kind of from the outside looks like a very big tent, except it's a hard structure, right? So it's definitely it's made of wood and steel, but it has the shape of just really large sort of carnival tent maybe. And then it's flat on the top, so like the walls come up, it goes in, and then on the top it's flat. The interior though is not just one wide open space. There's a ring around the outside hallway that has several rooms, and then there is a center space, which is where they do a lot of hanging out really at the lodge. It's basically the orcs hangout lounge club for when they're in town.
Do they have jazz on Saturday nights?
Yeah, Blue Joke Jazz. It's pretty avant-garde.
That sounds good.
Luke Cage bar kind of feel here.
Looking forward to the soundtrack.
Yeah. So inside there's electric lighting throughout, and the main area, like I said, is where they hang out. Generally, Boss Savrufti kind of holds court, if you will. He's the senior Blue Joke orc in the lodge, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and share the map at this time.
It's the map. It's the map.
Almost like he knew we were going to end up here. Crazy.
Almost like I knew that Alex wanted to fight people.
True story.
All right, so orienting you on this here map, we've got the seat at the top there where Boss Savrufti sits, Enyid Savrufti. Enyid is Ishani for boss. And then there's a table, there's a spread with like all kinds of goodies behind him. Several tents around where there's some have merchants, some are just people sitting down, talking, having a good time. And then you see, of course, there's a ring in the center. It's got a sort of a like a burlap, I guess, kind of rug that's over it, stained. And several individuals are sort of milling around here. So, including, I'll add you to this tracker. All right. So coming in from sort of the south side here is everybody. Not Panabon. We have Rosalia. We have Aegis. Peruinya, of course. And they're all appearing here on the bottom of the map. So there's definitely more people in here than I'm representing. I didn't want to put so many people in that it would overwhelm the map, if you will. It does take up resources to do that.
I imagine that Shay is so uncomfortable right now. I look at her and I go, "How are you doing?" And of course, I imagine that she's just scribbling away in her book.
All right. You do see there are a few individuals here that are not that are not orcs, but mostly there's orcs kind of, they're kind of in a group off to the side, limbering up, getting ready for whatever matches are going their way.
I will do so as well.
And you've got Boss of Rufti, he is familiar with you just because you've been here fighting before. And
I'm a purple dragonborn.
You're a purple dragonborn. That's this is a truth. So yeah, the fights get underway. So Boss of Rufti gets up, kind of announces the various fighters as they're coming in, calls them by name. They come up. The first fight's a pair of orcs. They just bare-fisted, beat downs, beating each other up. It's not a very long fight. Just maybe like two rounds of fighting. They kind of stop them after about a couple minutes. It's not precise. It's really loose, really sort of like whoever comes up and they fight, and then someone's like, that seems about time for them to stop and head to the sides, maybe, and sometimes you're like, I feel like this one's been going on for a minute. And it really, you feel like it has a lot to do with how interesting the match is in the moment. So like, if it's interesting, they kind of don't call it. They kind of just let them go and like wear themselves out. And then as soon as it slows down, that's generally about when they hit the gong and stop the fighting. There's 3 big electric lights that are kind of surrounding it. That also Peruinya knows that adds heat, as well as just various lamps that are lighting up around. So eventually we do get to Perunya's first fight.
Can I say one thing, Danny?
Yes.
When she's called up to the ring, I want to, in my seat, do some semantics and a vocal thing and cast prestidigitation for sparks to fly behind her, just so that she looks extra badass.
Thank you.
Okay. So that does indeed happen. There are sparks. Sparks are flying. And as she steps up, that gets some attention from a few folks around the room. And now you've definitely got a few eyes on the group as a whole, like Peruinya, but then who she's with. And we're going to go.
I will put my bag down and drag a chair following her next to the ring. And as she's starting, I'm going to limber up her shoulders.
You can act like my coach.
Loosen up her back. I notice her right hand's a little bit tense, so I say, "Come here," and I put a couple of acupuncture needles in her arm real quick.
Oh shit!
And get the thing flowing and pull them out. And the second, just before she goes in and the match starts, I say, "Nipoe loves a battle. May she be with you as you go in there and kick ass." And I will cast Bless on her.
Thank you.
Just before initiative.
Okay. Nothing like a little cheating to make sure you get the money.
It's a blessing.
To make sure you get the money for your camels.
I was just trying to make it good.
I said some positive words.
Yeah.
Everybody else, it looks fine.
Whatever Nipoe
I mean, if she's inspired by it, like that's just what it's meant to be. Okay, so let's go ahead and have you. So, Boss of Rufti stands and says, for the next fight, we have the dragon from the North Peruinya returns. And there's smattering of cheering and clapping. Bloka, you said you wanted to face the dragon. And everyone kind of laughs over in this corner, and they kind of push this one orc out. He seems like now that he's about to face the dragon, that he maybe doesn't want to face the dragon, but there's not really much he can do. He turns and looks at the rest, and they just kind of like, "Rah!" And they shove him out there, and he kind of stands in the ring and squares up with you, and kind of bounces on his toes a little bit, and roll initiative.
I do a fighter bow first to show that I respect him for coming out to face me.
Okay. He kind of gives you a nod, like, okay. Initiative is a check, so.
So I will not be properly going first.
Right. So with that, he is going to swing on in. And he rushes quickly. The orcs, they can be pretty fast when they need to be. And he just immediately comes in trying to take a swing at you. But not with that. That is definitely going to hit, though.
And we are, of course, unarmed combat. We're not.
It is unarmed combat. So you do take 3. Because in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, if you're not a monk or have some sort of ability that gives you dice when you hit with your hands, you just do strength. That's it. So,
strength +1.
Strength +1. So that'll be 4. All right. So yeah, that definitely kind of caught you off guard a little bit with just his rush. Like he seemed so nervous at first, like he almost didn't want to, but then like he committed. Yeah, there's no attacks of opportunity in this sort of ring fighting because that makes for a really boring. No one moves from their position. So go ahead, Alex. And how does
Yeah. So as I was a little surprised at how fast he came. He looked a little hesitant in the beginning, but I'm going to give as good as I got, and I am enjoying the crowd around me too. So I will do a little bit of showboating to get the crowd into the match. And I believe I think that helps hit, right, Danny? So I should hit that effect.
Right. So there's definitely a lot of people watching this fight right now. And so you have your crowd pleaser ability. So when people are watching you, you tend to, just
get
really excited and get energized by that. And so the ability gives you +1 for every non-combatant that you can see and that can see you up to your charisma modifier. And I believe your charisma modifier is 2.
Yeah.
So you can hit that twice to get both of them. And then that also stacks with the bless that has been cast on you. So,
all right, then let's do this.
Okay. Ouch. So immediately you follow up. It's so quick. And your strength is 18, is it not?
Let me verify. Yes, it is. So it's a +4.
That's and then +1,
and then
so 5 damage. So he actually kind of stumbles back. Like you can almost see the sparks over his head as he just kind of staggers. He then shakes it off, and then there's a little bit of dancing around, maneuvering through the ring, and then he finally tries to find an opening and come in and try to give you another kind of just punch underneath, which does hit, just a solid hit to the side. I mean, if you were not a beefy dragonborn gladiator type person, you'd be that. But fortunately, you are beefy dragonborn woman.
Very, very large. Yes.
All right. So then
So I'm gonna, now that I have a little distance, I'm going to rush and try to hit him with a drop kick if I'm successful at this.
Okay. Yes. You leap forward and legs front and just barrel into his chest. Both of you fall down to the ground. Everyone's just, people around like, oh, screaming and yelling and cheering, and it's as you're getting up, he kind of manages to roll and get up a little bit faster, and he tries to tackle you and take you to the ground, which may or may not be a good idea. So he kind of like hits around your waist. Go ahead and give us a athletics check.
All right, except that my skills are not good right now, but let's do it anyway.
Well, you just got inspiration.
Oh, so does that mean I get to roll one more die there, Danny?
You get to roll, so what was the dropped? 14? So 14, yeah. So no, I'm going to take the middle of that. So we're going to go with 11 plus 4 is 15.
Okay.
Which beats the 14. So he just runs up and he gets his shoulder into like your waist and he tries to lift and just nothing.
Nope.
Perunya's feet are planted.
I smile at him dead in the eye too, like, nice try.
And then given that it's your turn.
And then, noticing that he's trying to take me to the ground, I'm going to go for a classic sweep the leg, Johnny, and see if I can do this.
Sweep the leg, sweep the leg, sweep the leg.
Yeah. As you kind of shove him off, and before he can catch his balance, just execute a perfect sort of spinning sweep. And sometimes when you see people get like swept down, they just kind of get knocked to the ground. Sometimes they get hit so hard in the feet that they almost spin completely upside down before their body realizes that they need to be falling. And that's about what happens here. And he almost falls like on his head. And he just kind of, after he lays there for a second, he doesn't seem like he's interested in getting up.
I yell to the crowd in Orc, which my Orc is very proper because I learned it in the hospital in Da Nang. So I yell to the crowd, "You guys have got to have somebody better than this." That's how my Orc sounds to them.
Oh, are we gonna get out of here alive?
It is. All right. So, yeah, she steps out of the ring. People are...
I do shake his hand and clap him on the back and help him up before exiting.
Okay. Yeah, you just pull him up to his feet, and he kind of gives you a nod and stumbles off, just kind of limps a little bit. Yeah, several fights later, if you will. Let's see.
That was very impressive, Peruinya. You remind me of Hoganu from Da Nang.
Thanks. I don't know who that is.
He is a great champion. Very strong.
And thank you.
That's not canon.
All right.
Just kidding.
Like I said, there's several more fights. A couple of orcs fight. Then you kind of get into the second match, and you realize that there's a human across the way that's kind of been like looking at Peruinya after that match, and just kind of really focused. it seems that when Boss Savrufti gets up, after all the fights are done, that this individual must have had a bye in round one. It happens. As he calls forth to Peruinya, Peruinya now, second fight you will fight Mr. Flint. And everybody kind of hushes a little bit.
And Flint's move forward, raises his hand to people, puts a cigar in his mouth, and then he rakes his knuckle on his forearm guard and sets his right hand on fire and lights up his cigar. Like, turns off the fire and walks towards the ring.
Well, you can't use fire in the ring, so I guess I'm unimpressed.
I mean, you were showing off with prestidigitation before, so I guess.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't, but...
Indeed.
I know.
There is a whispered hush around. Like, a few people have, like, there's some people talking about, like, oh, I heard this guy, up in the Capitol fighting, and now he's just kind of traveling around trying to find the, just the rumors, of who this person is.
I want to try to cast Bless again before the match starts.
Okay, so yeah, as the match is starting, you're like giving the words of wisdom and encouragement.
Yes,
it's a great pep talk. I feel pepped.
And Danny, for her entrance this time, I want to any fire that's in the room, I just want to raise it up a little bit, just like, and then stop, like when they call her name.
Everything just feels brighter for a second.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, there are no fires in the room.
Then...
There are, but you can make the lights flicker on.
Yeah.
And they kind of flicker a little bit. As Peruinya steps back into the ring for her second bout. All right, Peruinya, roll initiative.
All right.
Flint, roll initiative.
I will not be first.
Wow.
I don't think you could be less. You could be less not for that roll.
Prefer to take the second roll so that you can gauge where the enemy is. That's
You're gonna.
I want to see what this guy's got. It's totally a strategy.
All right, so I there's nothing for me to do here except manipulate the buttons and move people around. I'm just gonna do based off of what you guys say.
I do bow in the same way as I had to the other fighter. A fighter's bow where my eyes never leave your midsection.
Flint is gonna tip his hat and move his goggle a little bit, but not much more than that.
Yeah, that's about it. It goes down to about here. It's not like a polite bow. It's a fighter's bow.
Okay.
Go for the chest. He smokes.
So, starting first, Flint flips the cigars away and starts dashing towards her and is gonna go in for an attack. Oh, yeah, right there.
You also have an inspiration.
I do, and I think, I don't have a choice to use it.
Yes, that is correct.
There's other gods at work here.
Wow.
Let's see what you got.
It's a hit.
And how do you do it?
He comes in like really barging in, and he has his two hands up front. He's gonna go for a punch and then for a grab to your armor. So he's gonna use one of these maneuvers to do an attack and then do a grapple check.
All right, so I would be rolling athletics, I think, against that to see how that works.
Yes, you would.
Yep.
Ooh. Oh wait, that's a tie for the grapple, or is that your?
I haven't done it yet.
Oh, okay.
I clicked on my thing.
Also, I think you did your damage higher than it should be the way that we're doing it, Danny.
Mm,
Did I?
did you?
Or do I
Oh.
do things
Ooh.
differently than you do?
Ooh.
I hit you, and then he just grabs onto your armor and starts like trying to control your movements and stuff. So you are in a grapple with Flint.
Yes, but I can still do damage even down here. So let's go ahead and try that.
Oh, he hasn't put you down to the ground so far. But he's
Well, in the hug that we're in is about to become a little bit more brutal.
Hug.
The hug,
Fighter's hug.
yeah, where I come in and I just jab to the ribs over and over again.
They're fight hugging.
Hug fighting.
So I don't know how if I'm doing unarmed combat the damage the same way, because I thought we were doing just strength plus 1.
Nope. You're just doing strength plus 1.
Yep.
So yeah, I've applied it.
Okay, great.
So he has taken 5 damage.
Actually, feeling pretty good. So I think I'm going to do a second attack.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to do that again, possibly. Which may or may not get in the time.
That's
my fault. All right. That is 16 does hit.
All
So
right.
that's another 5. So yeah, you just like follow up with a 1-2 combination. And yeah, that kind of rocked you a little bit there, Flint. What's your response?
Well, it's the beginning of my turn, and as an unarmed fighter, I can do a free D4 of damage right at the beginning. I don't think we set that on my sheet. I forgot about it, but it's just a flat D4. So if you want me to roll that.
So what is that? An ability?
No, it's the unarmed fighting style from Tasha.
Okay.
So
right.
It gives you dice to hit with your unarmed, and when you're grappling something at the beginning of your turn.
Oh, okay, I got it. Oh, so basically you're like putting the squeeze on them. That makes sense. So roll the d4, and I'll apply that. 3 damage. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And now it's down.
And he does his attack, which he's going to use another superiority dice to do a trip attack at the same time as he hits her. So he's holding her like from the shoulder, and they have this kind of hug, and he's going to go for the leg and try to bring her down to the ground while he stands up. Well, he stays.
The MMA.
Yeah, that guy, like, yeah, you can see that that's what he does. Oh,
Ooh.
no.
Ooh. That one hurt.
Yep, that's a thing. Let's see what happens.
Oh.
Oof. Yeah, that like you walked into that one basically, like he was just kind of coming up, and then yeah, ow, wow, okay.
I'm gonna take a step back, or at least I think perhaps I'm still in the hold. I'm not sure where your last one left me. But I'm gonna use my second wind.
Okay. So
you are down on the ground right now, and I'm over.
Yeah, you are,
because I did a trip attack.
Yeah, so you're prone, but
you can still use
it. You can still use it. You just know that you're prone. It doesn't stop you from attacking either, because you're also prone. So
I am not.
That is my heal. And then I will go ahead and make my next attack. And we are both down, so I'm looking, of course, to get into a mounted position over him.
Maybe.
Which
Unfortunately,
might not do it.
no.
So I
All right.
swing over, but I just kind of missed the grapple, and we're still both in equal fighting positions on the ground.
Yes, we are.
All right. Now you haven't let go of the grapple and she hasn't escaped, so she should have taken a D4 at the beginning of that turn.
You are. Well, I did the last turn. I did do her D4, so now that it's my turn, she does take another one.
Okay. Oof.
And then as he has her, he's gonna try to go to just drop one of his hand and then elbow her in the face. So. Miss.
Well, you can try.
I can try again as an action surge, just like you did last turn. So I'm gonna burn that and try to hit her again. That is a hit. But now that he's on the ground and he has less control, he's not gonna do as much damage as he did last turn.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. That's still getting close. All right, Peruinya.
Perunya's turn.
You must
right.
break his grasp. Break the hold.
Yeah, I guess I should have been rolling athletics, the extra checks to see if I could break the holds as well, right?
So that would become your action if you are spending your action to break out.
Right, but with my athletics, I just don't think that I'm going to be able to break it as well as just hit him. So I'm going to go ahead and try to hit him again.
Success.
So this time
He
I've
does
got
take
him
a-
mounted, so I'm in like a kneeling position over his waist, and working to get him into a chokehold to pin him down to the ground.
Okay. So you're trying to do that, but he does still kind of have a little bit of control on you. So Flint, you're up.
As she's like mounting over him, he's moving her arms left and right to keep control of her body mass. And he's going to try to flip her over and come down with a left-hand punch that I can't mimic because I have to press the button while I talk. Let's go on the other side. Like that.
Talk is hard, yes.
Indeed. Oh, no.
Oh, fuck.
Wow. Like, I meant for that to be a rough fight, but I didn't plan for, like, 2 criticals in a row. And
So that hand just comes down and smashes her right in the head, and she just knocks her out. Sadly.
I'm done.
Yep. That
Aegis,
That
you might
was-
want to help her.
that was unexpected. But as that's happening, and before we call it a night, Rosalia is watching this fight go on. Shayloon's kind of in front of her, just like cringing every time Peruinya gets hit. Rosalia feels somebody standing behind her to her right, like over her right shoulder.
I turn around and try to figure out who's behind me.
So as you turn, you see a man. He's got a hood, and a cape over sort of some like metal buckle armor. Looks like it might be some sort of a scale and chain. There's a couple of blades sheathed at his side, and as you turn, he kind of gives you this grin, like, and he's like looking up under your hood.
What, he's like creepily looking up under my hood? Is he taller?
Yeah,
than me?
like it's creepy. He's close. He's not like, he wasn't like far away. Like he was like right. He's like up on you, and as he looks, and it's like he's looking to see your ears. Really, is what's happening. And as he does that, he kind of pulls something out of his pocket and holds it up for you to see. As he's like, "You're another one." And what he pulls up is a line of like twine, and hanging from the twine are a pair of ears that have that point that indicates that they once belonged to an elf.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make an attack on him because I don't like that too.
Okay, and so we're going to resolve that attack next week when we return. Thanks everybody for joining us.
Except for Flint, who we wish did not.
Thank you, Thomas, for coming on so you could beat up Peruinya. And,
If you want me around to deal with that guy next week, I'm more than willing to.
Yep.
Good.
I'll bring her back up once she gets healed.
And you owe us money.
all right. Yeah,
You
owe them-
ruined
you
our
owe them
plan.
camels.
Ruined it.
You don't know Flynn, so maybe he's willing to help you. If
I'm not stealing the camels. I'm just saying I could still steal the camels.
That is still an
a thing that
option.
can happen. And so yeah, we'll thanks everybody for joining us once again. Thank you very much, Cast, for being here tonight. Thank you very much, Tom, for running our tech. And also remember, everybody, that Tuesday we're going to be on all day long. Tuesday we're going to be on all day long. Come check us out. Come say hi. See what we're up to. And see how we're doing on day one of our Kickstarter. So with that, good night.